What's up? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the politics and BS.
There are rumors that Michelle Obama and Barack Obama is absolutely having a tough time, that their divorce is imminent and that their relationship is on the rocks. Now, that's not really important as far as what their relationship is, but what it represents, especially with them being public figures, along with the fact that you guys have heralded them as the Messiah and the greatest couple of all time, and we want to be like Barack and Michelle. Now what? Because even if it's not true, right? Let's assume for the sake of conversation that it's not true. Even if it's not true, she is making him look bad by not showing up to the inauguration, not rocking out with him at Jimmy Carter's funeral. And I know it's a lot of women that's sitting there in my comments saying, oh my God, but what if she's sick? Listen, first of all, you can't preemptively be sick before inauguration. But let's just, evaluate that for the sake of conversation. Well, Anton, what if she had cancer or something? Okay, so if she had these type of diseases or problems, don't you think that right after the inauguration, instead of him still sticking around and going to the restaurant and partying with his friends and showing up to places where they basically saying, oh man, he might be talking to Jennifer Aniston, that he would have took his private plane, his rich ass private plane, and would have headed right back over there and hanging out with Michelle Obama or being right there by her side while she going through whatever treatment or chemo that she going through? You don't think that would be a thing? Listen, all I'm saying is she making the family look bad. She making the family unit look bad. And if this is even remotely true, which I don't believe it to be true because I would never wish downfall on somebody else's family, but they are public figures. And if this is even remotely true, the level of crash out from you ladies is going to be epic. I mean, the culture is finished. If y'all Messiah, and it makes perfect sense as to why she was saying, go against your husband during the presidential campaign when she was telling people to go against your husband and your family and vote for whoever it is that you wanted to, I would guarantee you that she was actually speaking about her own situation instead of speaking about what you should do, and y'all crashed out and followed her right off the cliff. Yeah, okay.
So Michelle Obama's not attending the inauguration, and Trump supporters have an issue with this. I say from now on, we stop responding with this confusion about the double standard. And, oh, well, why do you have a problem with her but not Trump? We know why it is. We know exactly why that's the case. So to all of you Trump supporters, Michelle Obama is doing something without permission. And just like every other black person who does something without needing your approval and validation, you can't stand it. But for those of you who have a problem with her doing this, let me be clear. Tough shit. Deal with it. And for those of you who want to come back and call her a man and all this and that, it is funny how you're all so terrified of a strong black woman that you have to picture and declare her as a man just so you can feel better about that fear. That doesn't speak to her character, it speaks to yours. You sound stupid, and at the end of the day, she still ain't going, so what's your point? See, I know you all want it to be one way, but soon enough, it's going to be the other way.
Michelle Obama did not attend President Jimmy Carter's funeral, and she's not going to attend Donald Trump's inauguration. Now, I just hope that everything is okay with her health-wise, because the last woman I seen miss this much time in action was because she went to the Dominican Republic and got a BBL. Now, I don't think that's the case, but I'm sure Barack wouldn't mind. He'd be like, Michelle, that thing is poking. No, but I just think that Michelle is done and over politics. Like, to her, politics are like those in-laws that she doesn't get along with. She's like, listen, Barack, they don't like me, I don't like them, so I'm not coming around. And I seen you kikiing with your little friend Trump, so you don't need me there anyway. Michelle Obama is the Meghan Markle to American politics.
That's my first lady, y'all. I don't care what nobody say. This is my first lady for life. I seen someone post this, and I seen in the comments, I seen MAGA having a meltdown about it, saying, she should have more class to show up and go. Weren't they the same ones that was praising Donald Trump for skipping Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's inauguration because he damn sure didn't show up? They praised that, but they think everybody should bow down to Donald Trump. I don't know what motherfucking planet y'all living on. My first lady gonna stand on business. She ain't dealing with that shit, and I don't blame her. Why go somewhere and be fake? He don't like them and they don't like him. President Obama, yeah, he gonna go because he gonna go do the right thing. Hey, it is what it is. Obama's still my president. My first lady says she gonna sit this one off. And I don't blame her for sitting it out, because at the end of the day, to get respect, you have to give it. And he's been saying for years that Obama wasn't really a citizen of the United States. He said that for years. So I'm going to be protesting it. All my TVs will be off. I don't even want a commercial to come on and they put breaking news on my TV for that shit to show up on my TV. So I'm just going to turn the motherfuckers off on that day. And that's what I'm doing.
I had to show some of the people that have shown their respect, their admiration, giving Michelle her flowers for not attending the inauguration, which, by the way, those MAGA people could give a damn if she showed up. Because in actuality, if she showed up, they would have probably booed even louder if she was by Barack Obama's side. Now listen, I've seen some people give some commentary where they said she should have went anyway, and having her husband go alone, she wasn't showing solidarity with him, and she could have been by his side because if she was there, then they probably wouldn't have booed him. Let's be clear. They have never liked Michelle Obama. They have much more hatred for African American women than they do for the men, even though a lot of those men believe that a lot of them hate the men more than the women, and they give the women more honor and respect and opportunities. No, they actually hate the women more than they hate the men. Because what was it that Malcolm X said a whole lot of years ago?
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman. The most neglected person in America is the black woman. That if the white man will do whatever is necessary to see that his woman gets respect and protection, then you and I will never be recognized as men until we stand up like men.
I mean, because listen, we are the ones that are the life givers. We are the ones that are giving birth to the women and the men. And for a lot of those guys who claim that racism and Jim Crow and food stamps and welfare and all those things were given to black women to split up the households, I'm so sick of hearing that, and I've talked about this on a number of occasions before. Miss me with that BS, because no woman in their right mind would take food stamps, welfare, and subsidies and Section 8 over having a responsible black man in her household. So for any guys who make that claim and say that they split up the households because they had these subsidies and these government handouts for black women, but in order for them to get them, the black men, the husbands, the fathers, they couldn't be in the household, so they decided that they were going to take those subsidies over a substantive man being in their home, is bullcrap. Because those women that had to take those things, the men weren't there. They chose to leave, or they did things, or they put themselves in situations and had consequences that caused them to be split apart from their families. So that's bullcrap. But not to go down that rabbit hole, Michelle Obama is a woman, a very dignified, respectable, educated black woman that they hate. They have called her a man. They have called her a monkey. They have done so many things to this woman, and she made it clear when she was campaigning for Kamala that that a-hole that believes he is a god, and a lot of those people who claim that they are Christians actually idolize and worship, but they want to act as if they actually do believe in God. That same person has done and said a lot of things to try to destroy her, her husband, and her family and their safety. So why would she want to be there? So honestly, no, Michelle should not have shown up. And I actually would say he shouldn't have shown up. He should have not been there either. Because the way that they disrespected and booed him, even though he still walked in there with swagger, with his head held high, I know that was not a good feeling. And I know that he would have much rather have been with his wife somewhere chilling, loving on his wife, versus being in a place where they were showing the hatred that they had for him. So for the ones that want to say that Michelle should have been there and she should have shown solidarity with her husband, no, maybe he should have not shown up and he should have been somewhere with his wife versus her being there. Because her being there, she should have not been there to try to be his shield, his force field. Absolutely not. And her being there would have not been a protection for him. And her being there, him being there with her would have not been a protection for her. The way she protected her peace was to say, I am completely checked out. I am done with this. And yeah, for some people, it may not be fair that it's like, well, they are insulated. They can live their lives and they don't really have to worry about a whole lot like a lot of us regular folks have to. And yeah, those things may be true. But I mean, quite honestly, they paid the cost and have had to deal with the sacrifices of being in that space for 8 years, and even the probably year or two prior to his first run for office, and maybe his first year or so after being out of office for being in it for 8 years, maybe a year or two. I would say that they paid the cost to be able to live the type of life that they are living now. So I'm not even going to hate on that. I say more power to them. They should be able to live in peace. You know, this life is not easy. Dealing with hateful, horrible people, especially the ones that claim that they love Jesus Christ and God, but they are as racist as they come, is absolutely disgusting. It is mentally exhausting. It's actually not good for your health. And I would say that she did the right thing by protecting her peace and not showing up in that space. So miss me with the she should have been there to protect her husband. She should have been there in solidarity with him. She should have been there to show she doesn't owe anyone anything. No, she did the right thing, and I was in solidarity with her by not even paying attention to all of the events that happened on that day. That's why it took me a day or two afterwards to check out some of the things that had happened and some things that people were saying before I even started to talk about it, because I just didn't even want to think about it. I really did. So I made a conscious effort to not pay any attention to it. Now I know why some people did, and I get it, and I don't disagree with their actions for why they chose to tune in just to catch some things in real time so that they could report it. Cool. But even for me, for the sake of my own sanity and peace, I just could not do it. I remember when he was inaugurated in 2017, I was in Miami. I checked out because I still couldn't believe that that was actually happening. So I was in Miami. I had a class for business, so I went and attended that, and I stayed in the hotel, and I was chilling on the beach, and I was having my drinks by the beach and just enjoying myself, had my natural hair out. I may post a couple of those pictures from then, and I was just trying to ignore the fact that that was actually happening. It wasn't like this time around. I was not chilling on a beach somewhere, but I definitely was trying to tune out and not pay attention to what was going on. So miss me with the she should have been there with her husband, because honestly, I feel like he should not have been there. But that's just me. You guys let me know your thoughts. Thanks for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.